Hi guys, Storm here with another video. So today we're going to talk about Doomsday Survivors and similar games like this. This acts very much similar to other games such as puzzles and survival and other zombie-based games where you're like building your, your area or whatever you want to call it. Your headquarters. And I was just burned after I was kicked from an alliance. And I have the entire conversation, so just so you guys understand what's going on. Discord and Reddit are one of the most toxic places to be, mainly because it's full of ignorant leftists that just want to cause drama. You know, emotion is based off drama and emotion is based off estrogen and feminine qualities. Not normal traditional women, but like modern day women, Karen, feminazi, stuff like that. Anyway, moving on. And I apologize if I'm hurting anyone's feelings, but at this point, I just don't care. I'm just gonna tell it like it is. I'm then betrayed. I feel hurt. I'm frustrated because it's anti-logic. I'm a very logical and justice-oriented person. So when someone betrays me and it doesn't even make any sense, like, I understand if you're just a troll and I should have seen a comment, well then I'm stupid for following it. I was the gullible one. I should have seen it a mile away. However, there's situations like this where it just doesn't make any sense. So here, we're gonna go to the chat. So this guy, Anime Monaco, I was playing for 16 hours yesterday to try to appease him because he's like, oh, I'm strict and I like tackling and bullying others and and he kept contradicting himself, like, oh, there's bonuses if you do this, but then if you grab this town, even though there's no bonuses and you grab all the bonuses, you don't get anything, but then you do get stuff. And so he's very contradictive. He speaks Spanish, so I don't know if there's a language barrier or what, but I asked him to rephrase a couple of times, and even when he tried to rephrase it, it still didn't make much sense, and I just think he may be on the lower IQ end, because, either once you take over a place, either there is bonuses or there isn't bonuses. It's that simple. And so he kept contradicting himself, saying, yeah, there's a bonus, so that's why we got rid of it, but now we want it back, even though there's no bonuses, because then you get a bonus when there isn't a bonus. It's just weird, contradictory stuff like that. Anyway, so from the get-go, I was an R5, and then I joined a clan alliance called GOX. And this is basically what's going on, unless you read it from the beginning. And I explained this to him, saying, I want to be on R5. I also said it in the alliance chat, hey, if I'm going to join you guys because I'm a powerful ally, and they wanted me because I'm powerful, because this is a new world that's been created, and I'm pretty due diligent about getting my dailies done, and then, once I get everything done, I get off. I get all my challenges done, and then I get off, and I spend time with my family or whatever else. But I'm one of the more active players, right? Justice-oriented, due diligence, treat us as you want to be treated, that kind of thing. He originally said he was going to say R4, and then this specific chat, you can't say it anymore because the alliance, it resets when you're kicked. But he promised me on R4 when this R4 slot was available. So I played 16 hours that day, and then I also played 16 hours the next day, roughly, give or take. And so I was pretty darn active, like more active than 90% of the players there, because most people would be on for maybe anywhere from 2 hours, 4 hours, maybe even like 7 or 8 hours. But it wasn't healthy. I shouldn't have been doing that much. I was trying a little too hard. But these guys are the top alliance, but they're super abusive with their power. They'll attack people for no reason, and they know they're powerful, and they abuse that power. And he doesn't see how he doesn't answer the question. Like, okay, waiting for the restart doesn't make any sense. And see how he's just like hostile from the get-go. I'm just trying to ask questions to figure things out. I apologize if this is going to be a longer video, but I don't want it to be edited. I don't want there to be anything not shown. I want you guys to see everything I see. He says avoids problems and conflicts, but he actively searches for problems and conflicts and tries to get people, like he baits people and tries to fight other people that are weaker than him for resources and whatnot, even during times of when there's peace and when there's supposed to be peace during peacetime, not wartime. So he breaks his own rules, and I thought that was questionable, but I'm like, you know what, screw it. Better to join a powerful alliance than, have to deal with other toxic alliances that are similar to him. If you can't beat him, join him kind of situation. So he says bad translation. So he says I already expelled 3 R4s, and meaning he was going to give me the position. And he's talking about expected perfection and whatnot. You see, not allowed to make mistakes. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. I was recommending one of the other people that are still my friends on here, but he's not even active. He's been inactive for 2 days, yet they still keep him as an R3. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a good person, but he didn't let anyone know that he was going to be gone for this long, and they still haven't kicked him, so that's kind of crazy, right? So there's just the hypocrisy is I hate stuff like that. It really it really gets under my skin. I explained this, I can't make any promises, I don't make a mistake, but I'm only human, I'll do my best. That's personal, but it's whatever. I'm not going to edit anything. Yeah, so he doesn't, so everyone's supposed to have 1 million, minimum, but he contradicts his rules, like, hey, you must have this minimum, but then, even though I say it's this minimum, I'm only going to apply that for certain people, like, if you're like 999,000, it doesn't matter, I'm going to kick you. And for people that I like, or I'm creeping on, that are female profiles, I'm going to just say, well, you're 500,000, it's fine, I'll promote you to R4 for no reason. And they're barely on, so he's one of those creeps. He keeps saying no drama, but he actively searches for drama. Do you see how he keeps talking about that? And he never even invited her. See, he's just... I may look bad, but I'm not that much, bro. No, you look bad because you are that bad. You're trying to be the hero of your own story, but you actively get off and pissing people off. So that's where it's like, what? Like, it's just crazy. Whoa. Okay. Why? Okay, that's weird. So, lie after lie. See how he keeps talking about drama? That's probably the reason why. If someone keeps talking about something, they're normally because they're exposed to a lot of it. And if they're exposed to a lot of it, it's normally because they're either causing it or in the middle of it somehow. And he causes it for sure. He's promised me an R4 slot. If there's an R4 slot, could promote me. He doesn't get back to me because he's just as inactive as Sofo Suleiman or whatever. And I explained that to him, and he still doesn't reply. I explained, I'm just, at this point, I'm like, well, I have nothing to hide. I might as well just call him out like he is, you're a liar. I'm not going to insult him, just going to tell him, you lied and you're a liar. You lied about multiple things. You said you're going to fight my GF. You said you're going to invite me to an R4 position, so I'm not just being demoted from president or R5 of an entire alliance, so I'm not just being demoted. And so activity in that, and it's kind of like Bizarro world, like if you're good then you're bad, and if you're bad then you're good. It's kind of like that. I've noticed that there's a lot of that, and in the Bible it talks about that, but I don't want to get too much into that. I have noticed that a lot, where good guys finish last, and the bad guys either manipulate the situation to make themselves seem better than they actually are, or are just straight up bad, and that's what, the place is pro-bad. we're gonna go a little top to here, so you guys know I'm not editing anything. You get to see everything, and it won't even let me delete anything. I don't think. Let me see. Report, but that's it. There's no delete option. So listen, if this is your main reason, that's fine. It's overcrowded, so I kicked you, and that's not the real reason. We'll find out later. I put in active, went to sleep, and I got back as soon as I woke up. Me, for a minute, the community I will join, but also I don't appreciate getting kicked at activity. You guys can read it, and you can slow down and pause the video. I'm explaining the situation. So, and he has the gall to say, "Oh, I'm sleeping. I can't always be on." But then you're inactive, and I'm like, well, wait a second. The only time I wasn't on was when I was sleeping, and I was asleep for probably 9 hours. So, and then I got right back on. And there's other people that haven't been on for 2 days, and their rule says if you're off the line for 3 days, you get kicked. And I saw there was at least 2 of them that were off the line for 3 days, and it's now the following day, 2 days later, and they still haven't been removed. So, they don't even follow their own rules. It's all about high school. Like, how can you manipulate the situation to your benefit? They say one thing and do another. It's just whatever is convenient for them, because they're power hungry. So that's the original reason, because there are too many people, right? Keep in mind, he says too many people. I don't know why he says self-file if it's a dude. It's just what I've been told. He is a dude. Okay, well, I'm like, well, here's my rationale, right? If you want to make some space, then kick the lowest mites, which there are people way lower than me, and kick the most inactive members, which there are people, again, offline for 2-3 days. Why aren't you kicking them first? And then here's the hypocritical thing. They have alt accounts because they don't want people to realize they're being toxic. But those alt accounts are under 10 million, yet they promote themselves using their main account. And anyone, even R1s, are not allowed to, because it goes from R1 to R5, and R5 is the leader. It's only one position for leader, and I think there's like 6 positions for R4s or something like that. Excuse me. And I'm explaining the situation. I'm trying to be reasonable. I'm trying to be, nice, even though I've just been disrespected and betrayed, and for no good reason, right? And so, and I explained that to them, and then there we go. I explain this. They're not responding, and explain it more because some people are really stupid, and you have to really drill it into them or explain it in a way. So like some people that are like have trouble learning, you have to explain it in a way that is slightly different but still hitting the main point. So I explained that to them. And yeah, I was demoted, and they never gave me a reason why. And this was, like I said, I was an R3, promised an R4, and then got demoted when I went to sleep and got back on. We're in the same boat. I don't know why you're punishing me over people that are way more inactive, way weaker headquarters that aren't even trying to build themselves up. So I don't. And at this point, I'm getting a little frustrated because they're not even using common sense. And then they start cursing and insulting. I mean, I'm down to earth, It's like, it's just sitting there being toxic, being obnoxious, denying or ignoring what's right in front of them. And it's like, let me prove myself. I was more active than this person that's being toxic. And I just explained to them basically what I've just mentioned here. So basically, competence of enemies, like anyone he decides or he deems that he wants to, whether he's friendly, whether it's some of the girls he's been creeping on, or people that are not matching the rules. Like, you have to be this standard to even join R1, and if you're going to be R4, you have to be this kind of might. But then he contradicts himself by hiring really, really low levels as R4, so it doesn't make any sense. Obvious bias is going on. and I try to de-escalate the situation and explain, put yourself in my shoes. Hopefully you can understand what it's like, whatever, unless you've just been fed the silver spoon all your life and you just constantly the bully and not the bully, not the victim. And it's like, abuse. What abuse? You're abusing your power right now. I found out that this person decided to, manipulate and coerce anime to kick me specifically, even though I was one of the top players. And they're saying I'm a weak player, which is the opposite of what top means, and that I was inactive, even though I was active. You see how backwards logic this is? So it's like, what? By a dint. I don't know what they mean by a dint. And I try to explain it to them in an analogy because they just don't seem to understand the most common sense of any common sense. He just doesn't understand. He was like, oh yeah, I'm doing you a favor for cleaning up my own mess. It's like, shut the fuck up, you arrogant asshole, It's like, oh yeah, well, I'm fixing my problem. After they had admitted and apologized earlier, like, oh, now it's like, oh, well, so now you're calling me out for not doing my job and only fixing one of my messes that I caused. You should be grateful at my godliness that I'm even allowing you to come back into this clan. It's like, bro, you're not the leader. What is your deal, bro? You might as well be, since you got anime wrapped around your finger. You're probably one of those catfishes that pretends to be the opposite gender to get him to do whatever you want him to do. It's not 20 minutes, dude. They just take a long time to respond because they're slow. And I try to, again, de-escalate the situation after they're being asshole-ish. I was... Dude, it's like we're going in circles. They just don't understand how to do mathematics. They just, 2 plus 2? No, it's 5. No, it's fish. Now it's what, identify as a cake. I'm cake self. It's stupid, insane, woke shit, Treated like what? You're the one treating me terribly? The irony, bro. The absolute gaslighting and manipulation going on here, dude. It's insane. Oh, God. And yeah, that's basically it. So then I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna expose this guy, and I let people know. And it's like high school, it's all drama and rumors and bullshit, and popular kids versus the nerds, and so on. So I explained to them in detail what's going on. DOX and Pyro. GOX is kind of a lazy leader. It's full of good people, don't get me wrong, but the leader's just lazy, and everyone's kind of inactive. So good people, I mean, they're friendly when they're on, and there's only some of them. I want to say there's a handful of them that are actually active, maybe 10, 15 out of 40, and the rest of them just don't care, and the leader doesn't care, and so, yeah, that's kind of like a negligent clan full of a handful of good people, even though they themselves aren't on that much, but when they are on, they do help a little bit here and there, so I'm not going to give credit where credit's due. And then Pyro, I've just noticed from the get-go, it rubbed me the wrong way, how arrogant and toxic and abrasive and combative they were, just trying to start a fight with Geo. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be on the losing side of a war, so I'll just join, because they were just attacking Geo's towers and whatnot for no reason. This is time of peace, keep that in mind. And you don't have the right to do that due to the president who makes kind of the rules, who's the overseer. And the president was already established in the previous war. They make all the rules, otherwise you get just bombarded by the president, who's normally one of the most powerful people in the game. And that's it. And then this guy's like, haha, I'm a troll, ooh, drama, So it's just, that's kind of it. That's the last. But as you can see, people are asking for help, and I explain them, specifics. And just other stuff, I'm trying to help out the best I can, and it's just, it's just toxic through and through. I don't know why I even bother playing these games, because it's just, there needs to be a game developer out there that sees toxicity and doesn't just say, well, because we have a bunch of bullies targeting one victim, I'm gonna side with the bullies because it's all of them saying the same thing in the victim. And I would just have everything recorded, every single thing, so I could rewind and watch the entire conversation and say, well, you're saying all these things, but the text, your voice chat, and all this tells a different story. You're actually toxic, and you're trying to manipulate the situation to make this guy look bad. You're getting banned. And of course I would do it depending on the severity of it. As long as it's not too bad, it goes, mic ban, then temporary ban, and temporary ban for a little bit longer, and a little bit longer, and then finally, if it either proceeds or how severe it is, permaban. So I keep it fair, but at the same time, I don't want them to just think, oh, they can keep getting around it and temporary ban and evading it. So it needs to be a nice balance of, hey, here's a warning, don't keep doing this, and oh, that was completely illegal, you're banned, something like that. Okay, so anyway, once they, I exposed them, I attacked my alliance immediately. So yeah. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Next time.